Can you get any closer to me? Why do you always have eye boogers? Get it together, Marley. You're supposed to look beautiful for the camera. So every time I eat, that's just what he does. He rests his head on my leg, thinking that he's gonna get something. But little do you know, you ain't getting anything, Marley, because every time I give you something, you end up having diarrhea or you throw up. The other day, he literally threw up on my laptop. Like, Marley, you lost your food privileges because you can't handle it. You can't handle being a human, Marley. I got accepted to freaking nursing school. Like, I've been waiting for this for such a long time. And I'm just so proud of myself right now. Like, pat in the back, Stephanie. Like, you got this. You ready to start your life. Like, literally just getting that email that said congratulations. Like, I was crying for like a good amount of time because I've been through so much, and I finally get that freaking email. It just validates that, there's something more out there for me to do. Like, I'm just so happy. Like, I'm finally gonna be able to start my career. But yeah, guys, let's get into my details. So let me tell y'all a little bit about me and my journey to getting into nursing school. Well, when I first got to college, I was on track to apply 2 years into college. And then my second year came and I got freaking sick. Like, not just your average cold, flu type of sick. I mean, like, super sick. It was my second semester in junior year, and I got super sick, and I ended up getting diagnosed with a freaking chronic illness. Like, out of all the things, you think that you're young and that you're gonna be like healthy forever, but something like this comes and you just like feel like you're gonna crash down. Like, that's what I felt like. I felt like I just didn't know how to handle it because, I felt sick every single day. So yeah, I would have like number 3 all the time, and I would have these crazy migraines. Every time I would move like this, I would literally want to throw up. And, those migraines would last for a freaking long time. Like, I remember the longest it was like for about a week. I was like, what is going on? Like, something is wrong. And, that was like at the end of my second year of college. And, I ended up going home for the break. And that's where, like, my health just started to go, like downhill. I remember going from hospital to hospital, doctor to doctor, seeing all these people, and nobody knew what was going on with me. Like, I felt like they thought I was making this stuff up. Well, I remember just feeling so depressed. Like, I remember from the day I woke up to the time I went to sleep, I was just in my bed. I didn't want to do anything. And I ended up losing a lot of weight as well because I just didn't want to eat. I hardly wanted to drink. I went from 160 to 115. I was basically a little stick. And, I just kind of just gave up on myself. And so eventually I found this one doctor. He's a gastroenterologist, and he basically told me that I had like a chronic illness, and it's called irritable bowel syndrome. And there's like 3 types. There's the C, there's D, and there's the mixed kind. C is constipation, D is diarrhea, and the other one is it's just like a mixture of both. And I was embarrassed about that. Like, I feel like people would make fun of me about that because who the heck wants to be known as like the girl who's constantly going to the freaking restroom? Because that's what I felt like, what people would think. But I learned later on that I shouldn't give a fuck about what people think and stuff. It's about me and my health and how I'm gonna improve on myself. And So yeah, I ended up getting diagnosed with that, and you know, I was trying to manage that when I went back to school in the fall. And you know, it was hard. Like, I would miss like weeks of school, and that would really affect my grades. You know, I went from a 4.0 to a 3.4 when I finally was able to just figure out how to handle my IBS. And you know, I was like discouraged because like, you know, that was a huge like a huge decline in my grades, and I felt like, you know, that would just like make me look bad as a student, because you know, I didn't want to tell any of my teachers what was wrong with me and why I would miss so much of class, because I was really embarrassed about it. And now that I think about that, I'm just like, I regret, you know, not saying anything. And so that was one barrier of my journey to getting into nursing school. And the next barrier was when Hurricane Harvey hit Houston. Um, that was during when I was sick, and you know, I ended up going back to school. It was in between that period, and you know, I find out that my entire house got like destroyed back home, and you know, we lost a lot of things and basically had to start from the bottom up again. And it was just devastating. Like, I wanted nothing more than to just go back home and just help out my family, but you know, I couldn't. I had to stay in school because, you know, I've gotten this far, I need to finish. And so I was, you know, I was just like, I kind of felt hopeless during that time. And you know, with the help of, you know, just faculty at school and friends, I was able to just like move forward and just get through school one day at a time. And yeah, that's the second barrier that I had to go through. And the third barrier was actually getting rejected from nursing school. I applied August 2018 to get into the spring of 2019. I went through the whole process. I took my TEAS test, passed it, applied to that semester, and I was in the interview, and it just didn't feel right. Like, I felt like I messed up a lot. And you know, weeks later, I ended up finding out that I got rejected from nursing school, and that was kind of like a slap in the face. I remember being like sad, and I was crying for a few minutes, but then I got my shit together real quick. I was like, why are you crying? You know, you're wasting time. You need to like figure out what you did wrong, how you can improve. And that's exactly what I did. I went hard. Like, I have never felt so motivated in my entire life. I brushed up on my interview skills. I was going from YouTube video to YouTube video, just like writing down tips and how I can improve. And one thing that really helped me was just recording myself and just like throwing questions at myself and just seeing how I would answer them, and like the things that looked awkward I would fix. Like, one thing is, like, I remember I would always like, you know, mess with my hair when I was answering those questions, and that's one thing that I corrected. And so the next time I applied was in, I believe it was February 2019. Yeah, that's when I had my interview. And you know, I felt good about it. Like, I felt like, you know, this is my time. This is my time to get into this school. If I don't get in, then it just wasn't meant to be, and I need to move on. And so after my interview, a few weeks go by, they start sending out acceptances, and the acceptances go out in waves, and I wasn't a part of the first wave, so I was already freaking out. Like, I was like, oh, okay, I'm probably not gonna get in, and you know, I should start looking into other schools, because I had already applied to other schools as my backup plans, because this girl was gonna get into nursing school either way. And so I was just like, okay, you know, this school wasn't for me. And you know, a week later goes by, and I find out yesterday at 4:59 p.m. I was texting my boyfriend because he was like, have you heard anything from the school you applied to? I was literally like, no, I'm not expecting much from that school. And as soon as I sent that text, I get that email like, you've been accepted, congratulations, all that. And and it was crazy. It was like I was just doubting myself right there, and then boom, I get this acceptance letter. And I was so happy. I was just crying for a good amount of time. Like, it just felt so good seeing that. Like, going through all this bullshit to seeing that, amazing. I was just so thankful to God and my parents for getting me through this journey. Like, it took quite a long time. Um, this is my 4th year in college, and I'm barely getting into nursing school, and that's okay. You know, I've learned to not look at other people's timelines, because you know my timeline is going to be different from theirs. It's going to take me a little bit longer than them, but that's okay, because as long as I keep going and I don't give up on myself, then everything will be fine. And I feel like a lot of people need to hear that. you know Take it from me. It took me getting through an illness, getting through a natural disaster, getting rejected, and then just getting accepted. It took me a while. And I'm happy and proud of myself that I just kept going. And I just can't wait to see where this career takes me. Like, I'm excited. And yeah, guys, if I can do it, y'all can 100% get into the school of y'all's dreams. Okay? And that's all I have to say. I'll probably make another video on like tips and stuff that can help you get into nursing school. So yeah, guys, I hope y'all love this video. I love y'all. Adios.